Okay, I think we're live. Do you want to start us off,
Post the
Liam?
link. Post the link.
Yep.
I'm waiting for it to load on YouTube. There we go. Okay, quickly, I'll post it quickly.
We are live here at SRL 360, and I am joined here by Tim James, Rahul Kowal, Lachlan Martin, and soon to be joined by Joshua Butterfield.
Please work. I swear to God, if this doesn't work.
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Been a
Hey,
long
boys.
day so far.
This better work.
Long
If it doesn't
40
work,
minutes.
I'm gonna cry.
We're done, boys. At least we're trying.
And the video stopped playing. That's all. Oh, no, it's back. It just keeps. Oh, are you joking? So I have to have like it on a monitor for it to actually show.
Oh, is he not streaming, right?
No, what's happening, right, is because here I'm making a full screen on my second monitor. Because if I'm not actually clicking on
There's
it,
6.
it wasn't. Sorry, the thing wasn't actually showing the like the footage if I wasn't clicked on it. So I have to be clicked on it for it to show the footage. Sorry about this, guys. Just
The
continue talking.
stream finished.
What
Alright,
do
don't
you
worry.
mean
No,
it
the
finished?
stream's still going.
The stream's still going. I'm
It
watching.
says
I'm
on-
watching it right
says
now.
on YouTube's.
We're a special.
It's just so.
Oh my.
What do you mean it stopped
It
streaming?
says on-
It's still streaming.
Liam, it's still streaming. I'm literally watching it
It's
right now.
embarrassing. Can we just start talking, please?
Yeah, let's just go on to the episode. It's
Alright.
still streaming. I can guarantee you, Liam, it's still streaming.
Okay,
It
we'll
is.
get on to the episode and let's talk about the new hot topic in the SRL. The Newcastle Knights. The new entry will be led by Loden Strange, Jack O'Neill, and Mark Lee from the front. Now, what are your thoughts on that, boys?
I never thought Mark Lee would leave Penrith, to be honest.
I never did either.
big
until
loss for them,
He did leave
like-
Penrith.
You just seem so keen on keeping him, and then he just, left like that. I guess he's got a new opportunity at a new team.
Yeah, well, he's gonna be
Good
vice
on
captain.
him. Yeah, I think so. So good on him.
It's
I
already a
guess.
very good team as it is. Logan Strange,
Yeah.
in the forwards, O'Neill to keep with the halves or fullback maybe, and Mark Lee controlling the rock. That's if we smash off the right pieces, I think
Look,
that's a genuine finals team.
Look, I think you'll be surprised at the moment if Jack O'Neill doesn't end up at the fullback role for this club. We've seen what he can do at the Raiders, and I would be. I know he's having a great season and a half this season, but I think he'll find himself a fullback for this new franchise.
Yeah, it's a
It's
Real-
all
it's a
about
really
the
bad loss for us,
consistency, though. It's whether he can be consistent for a whole season of SRL fullback. It's tougher.
I think that's a good point.
They're
But
playing a
with
couple
that being
games,
said, though, he has at the same time scored 2 hat-tricks from 2 games at fullback.
It'll
think
be
he-
harder if they don't get the right piece. It'll be harder if they don't get the right piece in the forward pack. We've seen how hard it is for fullbacks to get their team over the line with their forwards just being doing absolutely nothing for them to set them forward. Like last season, Eli Barnes was very, very quiet. He didn't have a great forward pack. Look what he's doing with the Raiders. Their forward pack is gone. I mean, yeah, but I think Jack O'Neill could be a good fullback. Yeah, it's just about consistency.
It really depends who they sign in the offseason, but I think his greater position is fullback. He's just done so well in the past few games. He can attack from anywhere at the fullback position, and he still hops in and around the ruck to play make. I think it would be the best suited for him.
Fullbacks don't really pass that often, but they do pass a bit.
His kick returns
help
too.
him.
He can get you out of trouble from kick returns. He can get you halfway through the fields. He can score tries from full range. And that's all you gotta look
What's
for a
his
fullback
speed?
nowadays. His speed is really good. Definitely close to the being maxed out. I know that.
I think with Jack O'Neill, what it is, right, is I think he determines on a lot of how the other players are going around him in order for him to perform at his best. Like, and it's not a coincidence that the 2 seasons where the Raiders did them really well were the 2 seasons where Jack O'Neill had an amazing season. Season 2, we know what Jack and Neil was like. He ended up carrying the Raiders from like whatever we were, him and Luke Thompson to whatever it was, like 4th, and then going third, sorry, I think it was, and then only just losing to the Rabbitohs in one of the craziest matches I've ever seen. Last season, O'Neill had an off season. We'll all admit that. I think that reflected on the Raiders. In fact, the one game he played where he had an insane game was at fullback, and he scored a hat trick and they smashed the Panthers. So not something I want to remember, but I was in general.
That's a given, though.
So. But yeah, so I think that's something to keep in mind when you talk about Jack O'Neill. That he's pretty much whether he performs well depends whether the Raiders perform well, and that's been evident this season with him probably being the half of the season so far, in my opinion.
I think it's his kicking game which actually, helps him. He knows the right kick to do, when to do the kick. And his short kicking game is lethal. I think if they were to play him in the halves for Knights, that would be, the most lethal thing for them. His short kicking game, short grubber game at the try line.
I'd have to agree with that. I also think that I think that his best stats at fullback would be his speed off the mark. I think we've seen that a lot. He has a lot of speed where he can sort of go from... his acceleration is very good. He can go from like 0 to 100 pretty quickly. Like from a standstart to max speed. So
he can make opportunities from anywhere.
Yeah, I think if Jack O'Neill has a good season next year, Knights are almost certain to make finals.
I think they could switch in between both. There's no guarantee who they're signing now, but
yeah,
the team has a lot of popular figures.
If they get a full-time fullback, I think you'll find O'Neill at 5'8".
I think the team has a lot of popular figures and can attract a lot of players.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys keen to run a new franchise.
What was that, Butters?
I was initially thinking of going to Newcastle, but I thought I'd stick it out with Liam over here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are considering the Knights switch. They want to be part of history and make that first year a good year.
Really is going to be a... Well, I think people are going to be really struggling at other clubs. I mean, sorry, look at Souths. I mean, I think that personally, I think we're going to lose a lot of players from that Knights, the Knights job, because I think a lot of people just want the challenge, and I can understand it. I think that's going to be a lot of teams that may have to just go, hey, we need to rebuild. Simple as that. But the Knights really want to make a statement, which is good. Where do we think the Knights will finish in season 5?
I think
anywhere from
I
fifth
think,
or third.
Yeah, I think with the Knights, they're going to have a good enough team where they won't be struggling necessarily. But I think teams like your Manly, your Cowboys, who have built that sort of dynasty at the moment, right, are still going to be at the top.
And the bottom two is up for speculation.
And I think there'll be
a lot of suitors for that bottom
team. So I think you'll find the Knights finish mid-table, but it's going to depend on what signings they make. If players, so we know a lot of players got applied to be the Knights captain. The question is, did the players apply because they want to help the Knights, or did those players apply because they want to be a captain? That's what we have
Everyone wants to be a captain.
And I think that's the case. A lot of them want to be captain.
Also, up next season, I think, Lachlan, you're going to really struggle without Mark Lee. I think that's a major loss.
A lot of teams will struggle. Especially if there's new cap rules implemented. I think
we have a contingency plan. I'm
we'll have to move.
Pretty confident that it won't affect us too much.
Definitely a big loss, though. This guy is like an Origin level hooker.
But I think young Blake Hurton is looking like he's going to be good. He's a really good pass on him. He's also quite a good defensive player. I've been watching him in the Mines quite a bit. Traditionally a half sort of transitioned into that sort of forward type role is going to looking like he's probably going to be our hooker next season. And I'm pretty happy with how he's going at the moment.
You might get a high draft pick. There's a lot of options you guys have.
Yeah, you got to remember that.
There's two sides.
I mean, what happens though, there's not... You go.
Sorry, you going? Okay. When you're losing a lot of games, teams not happy, but at least it's something you can look forward to in the drafts.
Yeah.
I mean, If Penrith lose another game, though, something that Penrith can probably do. Yeah, exactly. But the thing I'm going on to is you're probably better off than just sticking around the mid-table the rest of the season, being hopeful that you're going to make finals and then just miss out in the final round. Because then you can just play around, see what works and see what doesn't work, find your identity. But Penrith personally have found their identity, so probably don't need to change too much. But you can probably try some things like Blair Curtin or Hooker, Mark and Lee may go the lock or something for a round. Try some things around, but yeah, I think Penrith they got a realistic shot after this week.
Look, I'll be honest. I did have a thought in my mind about trying Blair Curtin and Hooker this round. The reason I haven't is I think so the final 3 rounds are the Cowboys, the Warriors, and the Broncos.
That's actually,
I think if we beat the Cowboys, which now I'm not going to point out the Cowboys, I think we have about a 50% chance of so winning. I think our chances are maybe slightly in Cowboys' favour, but I don't think it's too much, because I think we've been playing pretty good the last couple of rounds. I think if we beat the Cowboys, we make finals. If we lose, we're out. Obviously, we're out no matter what, but I'm just saying that because I think, I think if we beat Cowboys, though, we are making finals. I think we can beat the Warriors and the Broncos.
that's not a horrendous final couple rounds for you. Like that's very doable.
Definitely an easier end to the season, and you always want those. You want to get those good teams over and done with before you go into those final rounds, because that's when the games really matter.
I think it's going to be interesting for how we go. I think this weekend is going to be a very... We need to win this weekend, put it simple.
Probably your most pivotal moment of the season.
Yeah, well, it's going to be. I was very impressed. I'll say about my thoughts, Penrith, how we're going at the moment for our expenses review. Should we just get into that now? I feel like it's a good transition there.
Yeah.
Well, I know we went over the top of the table. I think we should start at the bottom, though. Do you want to start at the... We'll start the Eels, then.
Yep. Okay,
4
I just got a
rounds
few
into the
things
season,
about
how
them.
they traveling?
They're not doing great now, but I think that team is rebuilding. I think, give it some time, let the players develop, make some good signings. I know the league will be more evenly spread out next season, and I think they could make a push for the top 4.
Ooh.
I'm gonna
Look, I'm not saying
They
it's
got some
certain,
good
but
players.
I'm gonna
A lot
say
of young
this. I
players.
think the Eels. I'm actually really impressed. I think we based off how I thought the Eels would go. To be honest, I thought they were getting smashed in both their games. And I know they're still not winning big, but they haven't been blown out yet entirely. The biggest losing margin was round 1, 20. They lost by 20 points. Other than that, though, they nearly beat the Eels and Rabbitohs. Sorry. And to be honest, they probably should have won that game. The Panthers, they were leading for a bit of the game before Panthers unleashed in the last 10 minutes and scored 2 quick tries. And then last week against the Raiders, it was 6-0 for more than half the game. That was an
I think that was their best effort,
almighty effort from the Eels.
I think if they can put out those efforts against the weaker teams, I think they can string a few wins.
If they had that performance against the Rabbitohs, I think they win by 2 tries. And I think it really shows that how strong that Eels team can be. I mean, they're building the team around a man called Blake Harris, who is currently, I think, looking to be one of the rookies of the season. They have to keep Blake Harris. He has to be someone that they look at and try to keep. If they lose him, that's when the team's going to start to fall apart, because they need him.
I think they've got a lot of skills with the draft. Justin Barisic.
He's
number
another
off the
one
bench.
that has been really good for them. Justin Barisic, I think.
Yeah,
Players been close their best players been Anthony McDonald. A great dude.
it's a forward pack. I think that's definitely the strongest suit of them. Not to mention they got.
I don't think that's their strong suit. I just think I think that Blake Harris is their only thing, and guys like Michael Krim is their strong suit. I think that apart from that, you've really got Luke Short, Attila Settendag, and then there's rookies off the bench.
Look, if I had to say, I think another standout that's gone pretty much under the Raiders, I think Thomas Bendonk has been really strong for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's had a spell,
I'm
dry
not
spell
allowing
itself.
him to the centers.
Yeah,
I think he had a massive.
Well, saying South can't step.
He had a
going
massive
to
dry
go.
spell at South, but I think the revival just added a new face at a new club. That's definitely helped his career.
I want to put out Blake Harris. I know we already talked about him. He is the average 17th most run meters in the comp. He averages 131 run meters. That's really good for a rookie season. Not to mention he's got a try. He's got is that 5 tries?
More than
5
me
tries.
already.
Yep, he's got. No, that's 5 errors. Never mind. He's got 2 tries. Okay, that doesn't help my point.
Still more than me.
But his running game, I think his running game's been really good.
I think it'd be a good 5'8". If you can pair him with
So I didn't
good
think the
halfback.
Eels had scored that many tries.
Yeah,
They
he
haven't
was-
actually been the worst in terms of try scoring.
I think
it's just their defense which lets them down. Sorry, Lachlan.
it's interesting for the Eagles. I actually disagree. I think their defense has been really solid this season, for the most part. I think it's their attack that lets them down. They really, against the Raiders, their defense was strong, but they really struggled to get any momentum off when they had the ball.
It's
I
some of these lower teams.
Sorry, go on, Liam.
So some of these lower teams, I mean, a lot of the lower teams just struggle to really score points. Like they may get lots of time down the other team's end, but just not let it count. I know the Rabbitohs especially definitely struggle to count down in the red zone. But if the same thing goes for the Eels, they just can't let it count. They just can't work it out in the red zone. And when they can, I think they're going to be a deadly side. Simple as
Yeah,
that.
just those off-season signings.
It's
I
not
think
even-
that'll be massive for
It's
them.
not even on their red zone. It's actually just making meters upfield. Genuinely, I can only remember one set in the entire game against the Raiders where they were actually attacking the 20. I remember one set in the entire game, and it was early on. It was in the first 20 minutes or something, and the Raiders held them out.
Yeah, they do struggle to get down the other end. True, you're right there.
Anyway, you think we should move on to the next team?
Yeah, let's move on to the Penrith Panthers. Is it?
Brisbane
No, is
Broncos.
it the Broncos?
Broncos.
Oh, it's the Broncos.
Yeah.
Oh, we got
Buddy.
some stuff to say about this.
Where's Butters?
Oh,
Where's
the
Butters?
Broncos.
Is he
Yeah, where am I?
I think we should start off with their team list. Let's
Well,
just
no, we're going to the
talk-
team. We're
discuss
going
that.
to the team of the team of the
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to that later.
Yeah, we
sorry.
go into that later.
Alright, sorry. I think they just have to stick. They keep changing up everything. It's not working.
Oh, I think they just have to keep their key play. They have to find a way to keep their key players, which they just aren't doing at the moment. They're not letting anyone stick with each other. They're just fighting over everything. It's the cause that the Broncos been broken. It's just all fighting. No. They're just all gonna fight with each other, and it's just not looking good for their off the field. On the field, they've been okay. But off the field, it's just looking terrible for them. That is literally the worst off the field team I've seen in the SRL. Hands down. They have the
I
most
think-
off field issues by far. It's
They
not
have a
even
lot
close.
of great pieces in their team, but they're just not combining right. You have Levi Raymond, who's the New Zealand captain. Bo Sadler, who's been an Australian hooker. Pete Vredo, who is a top 3-2 lock. You have Samuel Herbin, who's a great fullback. Luka Moscar, who can just demolish on kick returns. Samuel Lillard, who's a solid forward. Mark Iron, who has proven to be good for the Raiders.
Yeah, look, I actually disagree with you, Liam. I think their outfield performances, considering the team they have. I know I expected them to come 7th in the preseason, and I still think that prediction is looking strong. Although I might change this weekend, to be honest, if they can.
I said off field. I didn't say on field.
Oh, that's what I
said
think
off.
on field they've been pretty bad. Like,
I would have to agree, and it's because they keep changing up the lineup.
This might surprise you, but they're
They
the worst team.
performed quite well against Manly, didn't they? They kept
Yes,
it with
then-
them.
look,
But then
They've
next
had a
week they
really,
make like
they've
five
had a really tough
changes.
start, honestly. Oh, sorry.
I think that yeah, I don't think they've been good on the field. I think Raiders they were pretty bad. They had so much ball and they just let it all go. Manly they have They were okay. They were good in patches, but I think Manly were pretty off their game that day. Like pretty far off their game. They just weren't on the entire game. Cowboys, they scored 4 points through like a one-step play, and other than that, they never looked likely. And against the Warriors, they scored 3 tries, but they were really bad against the Warriors.
I think they're seeing a
I don't think
competent
they've been
halves
good on
partner
field.
for.
They've had one good performance against a team who wasn't playing well against the top team, but they weren't playing well that day.
Yeah, I totally agree with you here, Lachlan. And I also, I agree with basically everything that's been said here. That the Broncos have been horrible on field. Well, not horrible, but haven't been great on field. They're changing up their lineups and they're not keeping their key players happy. And that's what they really need to start doing through the end of the season.
That's why you don't roll the changes every single week. You make a couple changes every week. Unless you're Manly, of course. You can't afford to make 5 or 6 changes every week. Well, maybe they can now, but not at the start of the season when you're trying to make a push for finals.
Yeah.
Because haven't won a game this season?
Nope. Them and Eels winless.
So they're winless. They can now they can go. Okay, this is the point for them to make 5 or 6 changes every week. This is where they go. This is where you go 5 or 6 changes every week. Just see what's not working. Sees what works. Sees what doesn't work.
Look, if I
Not
can
at the
chime in for a
start of the
second.
season.
I can chime in for a second. They've had a tough start, I think. I think we definitely one of the tougher starts, but I don't think that's a reason to change your lineup every week.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think they need a competent half. Their spine, I think that's a final spine, honestly. Samuel Herbin, whatever 6 they play, Levi Raymond and Bo Sadler.
I can't believe they're playing Bo Sadler off the bench this week. We'll talk about it more later, but why is he off the bench?
Are they actually? Are they actually doing that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. They seriously just want him to leave the club again. Jesus.
They need in my opinion, just a massive culture change, like a massive clean out.
I agree with what Jack O'Neill said in the chat. They should throw the checkbook at Chris Lord. He rebuilt the Cowboys. That's exactly what the Broncos need.
Look, I'll tell you what about the Broncos. I think that you know what? Let's move away from the negatives for a second. Let's go on to the positives for the Broncos. Who's been the best player this season?
Probably Herbert.
Because I think the sad thing about the Broncos, and I do disagree with Herbert, I do have a player I think been the best, but I can't. It's really hard to name a good player for them that we can look at him and he's a shining light.
Maybe Moscow.
Moscow's been really good and a good return.
I'd probably say Weston.
Oh yeah, Weston's been really good. I'll give you that.
But has he been the best?
I think he's been the best.
I'll disagree.
I think Pete Redo, he's definitely been up there. Consistent performer, can get the meters and just owns that forward back.
Let's be realistic here. Even Pete's been down this season. Whether you like
The whole team's been down. I think
them in some way.
Just the team culture, man. They can't.
Field
gelling
culture is affecting them.
And look, even like some of the players, like Simon Hunt, he was our best forward last season. Penrith's best forward, and has he really done much at the Eagles this year?
Relatively quiet, I think. I haven't been watching many Broncos games, so I wouldn't really know.
When he gets his hands on the ball, he's been good, but he hasn't been getting much ball. Even Sam Herman's been quiet.
What position are they playing him in? They're playing him in.
Herman.
No, Simon Hunt. He's been playing.
Oh, Simon Hunt.
Second row long.
He's playing off
the bench
is
this
he
week.
playing? Right or back or left?
He's coming on
playing
prop.
right or left back row.
I'm not sure actually.
It's been changing each week. He played a bit of lock, I think.
His best position's lock, in my opinion.
I have to agree with you there. He was.
I think you gotta play even with Craig Alex Chapman there, who we agreed that he is a good player. I still think that he's a better Simon Hunt's their best lock. I think he's just so good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
See, and
Um,
it's a worry because this team has a lot of talent in them. I don't think they should be, this performing this badly as of right now.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I sort of saw it coming. I still do think I think they have a pretty weak forward pack. To be honest, minus like their stars. I think when you look at their forward pack as a whole, they have a really solid player who could be potentially playing, represented footy, or a player who is below average at best. And I think that's not good. They don't get any consistency there. You're either a star or you're pretty much a nobody in their forward pack.
Yeah, it could
Well,
take.
that's
Like you got like players like Jason Farrell, Bailey Wilson, who, let's be realistic, they haven't done much. I know for rookies, but they're rookies. And then you got players like, and then Cody Deeb's another one. And then you got players like Pete Vernon and Simon Hunt, who are goats, stars, but they have no consistency there.
Exactly. I think you just gotta play everyone in the position they, signed up to play. That's what they're building around. That's what they built the play around. I think Herman should stick at fullback as well.
yeah.
He's just been too in and out of it. And he's probably, I reckon, their only really hope at the back five, apart from Moscow.
So where do we think they go from here? Where do we think they go from here? One last question. Do you reckon they go for 3 different lineups to end the season, and try and find what works best for them, or
I think
So
they
they
might
try and
revert to the
stick with
Manly
some.
team list.
First
That
off,
one is proven to have worked in some forms. And considering they have a really good closeouts, few games for the season, I think they can string a few wins.
first off,
I mean, but I don't think it's about winning, Kual. It's more about because I don't think it's possible really seriously, even though it's mathematically possible they can make finals. I don't think they're going to make finals with 3 wins. I mean, you'd rather
can't.
just have to go. You just
can't
try and
though.
find your best lineup for next season. I think that's what
Yeah,
it's
that's
more
the-
about. I don't think it's more. Maybe they try and get a 1 or 2 wins along the way, but it's more of trying to test things out. I reckon, in my opinion.
I think we should move on to the next thing. We spent way too long talking about the Broncos.
Before we move on,
Is
what
it
do we
the
rate
Panthers
them?
now?
Oh, we have
Before we
to
move on,
the
what do we
bid.
rate them?
I don't think we need. Let's not do the bloody grade thing. We'll just talk about them in
Okay.
general.
So
Panthers.
is the next team the Panthers?
Yeah, Panthers are next.
Right.
So Lachlan, give us your take on how your season's going.
Well, I think it's an interesting one because I think we're playing. Look, I think we're playing pretty strong. I think had we versed any other team in the comp last week, we win. We just were versus Manly last week, and like I think the difference between I know Broncos lost by more, lost by less to Manly, but I think the difference was I think Manly were actually maybe not their greatest performance, but I still think they were playing in terms of their defense especially, were playing some really good footy. And I think a lot of the times, if they versed other teams that week, they would have smashed them. I think we really did well to hang in there, personally. And I think currently, if we win this weekend, we'll be making finals.
no.
That's my honest opinion. If we win this
I
weekend.
think Fisher has been a massive revelation at fullback. That spark at the back, I think, is what they're missing. And
Oh, he was incredible.
I'm not saying
on the
it's
weekend,
fixed,
Fisher. He had his best game.
but
I've
Marshall
ever seen him
Edwards
play.
and Nathan Fisher, I think they're going to be two, notable back five players.
Fisher had his best game I've ever seen him play on the weekend. It was incredible.
And Marshall Edwards, he's definitely getting up there. He's improving weekly. He's finding his spot in the team.
Yeah, look, I think another player that's really people really like to sort of look over a lot is Robbie Elms. He can get some really good kick return meters, and but not just get kick return meters, also get also get a quick play the ball, get us off the start to a good set. He's a player that is really underrated in the game as a winger. I think he's scored a really good try to get us scoring a couple more points against the Raiders. Yeah, I think people should look at him a bit more too.
Lachlan, just on your statement just before, even if you do win next week, I think it's very difficult for you to make finals.
We have a pretty easy draw. Have you seen our draw?
There is a lot of competition for that.
Okay.
Finals.
The top 3 are locked in.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think it's a battle between us, the Rabbitohs, and the Warriors. And to be honest, I think we've been playing better footy than both those teams. I think we'll beat the Rabbitohs and the Broncos. I think it comes.
You
down to
can't You can't
I
beat the
don't-
Rabbitohs because we already played you.
I said Warriors. Did I not say Warriors and Broncos?
You said Rabbitohs.
I meant Warriors and Broncos. Sorry. I think it'll be those teams, and I think it comes down to whether
Okay.
we'll win this weekend or not.
But
I'm willing
Lachlan,
to tweet my words if I'm wrong. That's my honest opinion.
Lachlan,
Good.
I will say if your points differential was a bit better, then I would say you would have a good chance of making finals. But you look at
Here's the
you
thing.
look at the Rabbitohs draw.
Here's the
Besides
thing.
Manly, we've got the Broncos and then we've got the Warriors, and we have to basically lose by a lot, and you guys have to win by a lot to
You've got to
make
remember
finals.
though, like, okay, so even so though, like, okay, let's say we win, right? Let's say we win, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna be improving our forward against, and if you lose a couple of games, your forward against gonna be going backwards, right?
But I don't see us losing by more than like 10 against.
Because
talking about your own teams.
realistically, Butters, I can see us losing by 30. Seriously,
I
You can't really predict with this.
Like, and you're versing
The
Manly this
simulation.
weekend, and no offense to you guys, if Manly plays the way they played against us this week, I think you lose by about 20. We lost by 12. I think you lose by about 20.
oh no, yeah, that's a joke. Hey,
That's a joke, bro. Like,
That's
no
a
offense,
joke.
your attacks.
that's a joke you're talking about. That one's a bit of a joke.
Okay.
that is a joke.
20. It's only 8 more points than we lost by.
There's many points. We wouldn't as like
Yes.
them.
You are not playing 8 points better than us. That's
Against-
just-
maybe against Manly we are. We're pretty good against Manly that week.
I
Like,
think
I
You
think
didn't
that
defend
like
as
that.
well as we would have. I think it would have been a little bit. It would have still been the same scoreline. It's the same margin because our defense is a little bit better.
Yeah,
So one,
so
I think they
think-
do have a lot of.
And no offense to you guys, but I think Warriors are more likely to make finals than you guys, and probably they're on par with us. Maybe actually, no, I'd probably say more likely because they've already have they versed the Cowboys yet? Warriors. We'll get into this team
Yes.
later. Actually,
Yeah, they
but-
lost. I think.
I actually don't see the Warriors making it.
Oh, they have it very hard. They have an interesting draw actually. They have 2 games that can go either way, and they versus the Raiders this week. We'll get into the Warriors later, but
Yeah.
they have 2 games that can go either way, and yeah.
One thing about Penrith is that they do have a lot of really good halves in their team. I think it's going to be a bit of a dilemma coming to the off season. Everyone wants to play halves.
Look, I'll tell you for something for now. I'm sticking with this half for at least the rest of the season. I'm not changing it.
Poor
For at least the
Isaac,
rest of the
he
season.
was a Queensland rep a year ago.
Poor
And look,
Isaac.
I've
That's
spoken
poor
to
Isaac.
Isaac about the reason he's out of the side. He's agreed with it. He's still on our plans for the future. It's just for the moment that he's not out. He's out of there.
Yeah, that's a good team player. I respect that.
It's not. It's definitely not something permanent. I can tell you that right now. I've spoke to him. It's 100% not something permanent. I plan to get him more involved in the game. It's just right this second. I just can't for various reasons. And as you've seen, it's worked so far. You know, I know Kennedy hasn't had the greatest games at 5'8", but I'll say this: Ash has been a really good halfback. You know, Fisher has been a really good fullback. Edwards and Elms have been really good on the wings. Kennedy just slots in this five because he's Kennedy. It sort of leaves Isaac in the dusk. So
Use him as a 14, honestly.
yeah, but
I don't know how well that'll work, but
I don't know. That's just the reasoning for the moment, right? That's the main reasoning.
that's fair enough.
There's a few
Fair
other
enough.
things that have sort of pushed him out over guys like Kennedy and Ash. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that's
Talking
my
about
honest opinion
Rob.
over it. He's
Talking
still on our
about
plans. I can
Rob.
100% guarantee you he still has our plans. I have no plan to release him in the off season. None at all.
Is that enough for
Right,
Penrith?
after lovers, we should probably move on to
Yeah,
the
we should
next
probably
one.
move on to the Rabbitohs.
Interesting one. Rabbitohs.
You guys are talking about for and against. You guys are only 16 points different than us. That's not actually that much when you consider the fact there's still 3 games left. We have an easier draw than you guys.
Easier.
It's
That's-
easier. I think that's one game that is easier for you, and it's not.
Yeah.
And I think Cowboys could still put a score on you if your attack's not great.
How is?
If you're not
got a lot of good
careful, they
players and
could
a lot of
still
good
beat you by a
positions.
fair margin.
They have to be alert and don't concede any dumb tries, and I think they could win that game. But anyway, on to Rabbitohs.
Rabbitohs. So the final
What do
three.
you guys think of
obviously, so far, I think the Rabbitohs are an interesting team because I think Alright, look, I know I was giving you shit and saying we'll make finals. You guys still have to make finals. I think you guys should beat the Broncos. Warriors is 50-50. Being realistic, you're gonna get smashed against Manly. And also, quick question: how do you guys have an easy draw with us when you versus when the only difference in our draw is you guys versus Cowboys and we versus Cowboys and you versus
I didn't
Manly?
say it was an easier draw. I said there was one game that you had an easier
Oh,
game.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Sorry, I misheard that. My bad. I misheard that. I thought you were saying you had an easy draw. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's realistic. You're not gonna beat Manly.
Any revelations about this
If
team?
you beat
you reckon?
Manly, I'll say you make finals. I'll make you a deal because then you should beat the Broncos, which will give you 4 wins, and then Warriors are 50-50, in my opinion. The Warriors are always going to be the dark horse to me because I think on their day they can beat any team. We'll get to them later.
I think they're really underrated, but can't really tell with them.
Who's that standout for the Rabbitohs so far?
Well, if I had to pick a standout, I'd say as the Rabbitohs last year, I'd probably say if I had to pick one, I think the most revived player in our team, and I know most of you don't agree, but I think Hayden Davis has been.
Yeah, I
fucking
knew you were gonna say
amazing.
that.
Hayden,
He's definitely a
Hayden
premier
Davis.
front rower.
you guys always love to pick a player and say he's underrated that really isn't. Let's have a look at his stats.
Hayden Davis has been bumping
I-
off players.
I'm curious
fucking.
what his. I'm actually curious what his stats is. I'm actually having a look
Hey,
at his stats right now.
hey.
But continue talking.
Yeah, you go for it. Sorry.
I would go Jackson.
All right, no, I'll give
I
you that.
think-
110 run meters, average run meters for a prop forward is pretty good. I'll give you that.
Okay, this is probably a bit obvious, but I think Jack Cahill, he's
No.
come to this. Okay, let me explain.
Carl is probably a close second for me. I do agree. Carl has been very good.
You guys are missing someone really big. How the hell have you guys not said Aaron Ahee's been your best player? He's been your best player by a country mile.
I'm off the country mile.
He's been an absolute revelation at lock.
He's my second. He's my second.
I think he brings more into the
I
ball
was just
playing
going
lock.
for a couple of underrated players that deserve their shot.
I think Aaron Ahee has been pretty underrated. No one's been talking about how good he's been at lock. He's been really good at lock. He
I think-
always palms off players. He always gets around players. He's been really good at the ball playing. I think he's been far and away the best player by a country mile.
I think.
Anyways,
I know
Just my
this.
thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's been a very good player, but I think Jackson Allison has actually had a wonderful season. I think.
I don't think Allison's really taken off yet. I don't agree.
Right,
he
yeah.
hasn't done much. Like, let's be realistic.
hasn't-
He hasn't done much.
He's done quite a bit. You watch.
He hasn't. Let's be honest, Butters. He hasn't taken off any. Yeah.
He
I
hasn't. He
think
hasn't.
he's taken off.
He hasn't hit his full potential. But he's still had a very good season. If you're comparing it to like his last season at Manly, which besides the final series, he really didn't do a lot. With if I'm going to be completely honest. But if you look at this season, he's making line breaks consistently. He's playing a lot more off the halves, and it looks like he's wanting the ball a lot more. And I think it's kind of showing through his performances. And no one's really noticing it. But
I'll tell you what.
anyway.
Let me look at his stats quickly. I'm curious what his stats are because I don't feel like. Alright, so
Look, and I'm trying to find him.
I
He's
just found
got.
him. 87 average run meters, about halfway in the comp, 61 out of how many ever players it is, 140 or something. So just above halfway, 137. So it's just above halfway, which is alright. But I mean, wouldn't
For a player
say
of
it's
his
not
standard.
amazing. It's alright. 91.5 tackle efficiency and 5 line breaks. It's alright. It's alright, but I wouldn't say it's anything special. Like, that's just my thoughts, but I don't think it's anything special.
I agree with you. I'd agree with Lachlan. I tend to agree with him more than I agree with you, Butters. I rate Jackson Allison so much. Like, I think he's a great player. He hasn't taken his season off yet, which I think he's about to though. With because he's playing a new role this week, and I think it's gonna take his season to a new level.
I'm just saying Jack Cahill because he was a bit of a. He's already been to two. Wait, no. How many teams has he been in? I know he's been in
This is
Japan,
Three
his
now.
Broncos,
This is
yeah,
13.
Broncos. He's just been bouncing around a lot, but I think he's found the home here.
Look,
He's kicking a lot. He's getting a lot of kicking meters.
I'll tell you why I'm
Probably.
really worried about the Rabbitohs, and it's because I don't know how to fix their attack. I don't know how to fix it, and I feel like with the squad they have, they should be able to fix it. But even the changes that I thought were good last week, with Liam Ryan going to halves, and Tyron Clay to fullback, it didn't seem to fix it. I'm not sure starting Jack Carl is going to do anything better for it, and I'm sorry, it's just not.
I mean, Carl will be okay. He'll just direct the side around. I mean, it's all I think one game it's going to click, and simply enough, I think it's got to click at some point. And maybe it's the Allison change, maybe it'll be something else, but I think eventually it's going to click. There's too much star power on that side for it to not click.
Yeah, no, just Rabbitohs side has a lot of stack players. They really should have clicked by now, I reckon. They got a pretty good forward pack.
You look at the Raiders, it took a lot of time for yous to click last season.
Yeah, because we didn't really have a better
But
squad
they
last
never
season.
did click, and that's the thing. I'm worried that you guys are never going to click. Like,
They did click by the end of the season. They had clicked in round 7.
yeah,
I think that's
round
'cause it's
7.
Penrith.
If you guys click in round
Penrith's
7, you
kinda-
guys aren't making finals. That's the way I see it, alright? Look, you
Maybe
scored,
you can
50, you
improve
scored
it.
56 points.
I love
The only
them.
team who scored more points then is the Brisbane Broncos and the Parramatta Eels.
Stop with their defense. I think their
It
defense
depends
has
what
been
you
pretty
mean by
strong.
click, Lachlan. If you're saying like click in terms of
I mean, the attack needs to just spark, because they have no spark currently.
yeah,
And then
I
the
agree
bench
with
spark
that,
is
but
really
I think-
important.
Alright, look, I'll give you this. They can get downfield easily. That's the difference between them and the Broncos and the Eels. They're able to get downfield easily, right? But when they're in that 30 to 0 zone or 20, that red zone, I just don't see any real attack. I'm sorry, I don't see them ever do anything that gets them a try. It's usually just someone crashing over of a one-off run, which most of the time, let's be realistic, isn't successful.
I want to. Yeah.
Look, I'm sorry, that's
their
just what
forward
I think.
pack is definitely one of the
No,
better
no, no,
ones.
no,
but,
no, yeah. No, you're completely correct.
I think it's going to
And
click at one point. The RNA here is going to get the ball out the back to Carl and spread it out wide. I think it's eventually going to click. Oh, here's ball playing.
The question is,
Well,
when's that
eventually,
going to be?
it's-
Do you think, is it going to be... If it clicks this week...
I reckon it will be this weekend. I'm really interested to see it this weekend.
Yeah, but what if it's not this weekend? Are you going to say it's going to be next weekend? You better hope it's not next week, because you're going to verse the Broncos. If it doesn't click against the
Yeah, it
Broncos,
would be-
and
it's
you
gonna-
guys either lose or only win by like a couple points...
Lachlan, you could be saying this about Penrith. Like, I still don't think it's
Yeah.
clicked completely.
I think
Yeah.
we've clicked enough to the point where we're able to score points.
You could just go this week and score 0 and Cowboys could just absolutely flog you.
I
It's
mean,
like,
they
it's
could.
simple as that. I
But
don't.
I think we've clicked enough
what's the point of this?
to the point where we are going to be at least... We'll at least be contending up there by end of season. We may miss out because we lose this weekend, which I'll accept this weekend. If we lose, we're not making finals. Even though we can have a mathematical chance of making it, if we lose, I'll basically give up hope unless a miracle happens, because I think the Warriors and Rabbitohs will be too good. At least one of them will win 4 games this season. But with that being said, I think our attack has been good enough. You saw Fisher on the weekend. He was very dangerous. Ash Crutcher set up a try and scored a try. Kennedy's kicking game was much improved. Maybe still had his few errors in it, but it was much improved. You know, like that's why I think ours has clicked enough where we can at least compete with these higher teams.
I think if we can score points, we can definitely.
And look,
We-
yeah, if you score
we'll
points, you can I
capitalise
think
on
it's
the
the same with Penrith. I think Penrith's goal line defense is very good. You see a lot of. I think when we're defending on our line, our defense is very good. We just make a shit ton of errors, so but basically that advantage goes away because we make so many errors. But that's just my opinion.
Back onto the team we're talking about, Souths.
Right. Yes. Sorry.
Does-
That's a good point, Kamal. Thank you.
What do you think's been like a shocking I don't know, just like a signing you thought would do a lot more?
Something that I thought would be a lot more.
Yeah.
There's
Honestly, you
Jackson
show me the
Cutler.
team.
I'm not Jackson Cutler. Just Josh Saddlecart. He
yeah,
has not had
probably
the
yeah,
effect
you're
I thought
probably
he had on the
right.
wing.
Yeah,
He has not had the
he
effect I thought
probably
you'd have on the
no, he
wing.
hasn't. He definitely
And I
hasn't.
think also it just shows. I think this team just shows how good having a good bench is. What's their bench for this round?
honestly don't think the bench is that bad. I think it's just got a couple of inexperienced
Look, guys.
rookies on there.
Look, I spoke to you about this earlier, Liam. I think your biggest downfall as the part of the Rabbitohs team is the fact that you have 2 backs on the bench. You
Yeah.
need one, but you
Vince
don't need any more
Williams,
than
I
that.
don't think he was a reasonable draft.
I think you. I don't know why you guys didn't go. You guys surely would have then had a forward available when you guys picked the draft.
Oh, I don't know why. I look at myself and I don't know why I said we'd go because that was my pick and I'm killing no I'm kicking myself about it for not drafting because we were looking at Ash Turner at the spot we were getting that and
Thank you
Ash
for
Turner
doing that,
was
by the way.
available.
Thank you
We
for
were
doing
gonna
that, by
we
the
were
way.
gonna we were gonna pick Ash Turner and for some reason I want to chase Williams because I think for some reason I thought it would be more versatile having it back on the bench. When we had Oshay Ole, we probably wouldn't have been isn't that bad in the centers.
I just.
You
look-
guys did miss out on... Sorry, you go.
I just don't. I think that it was a massive mistake, and you've done 2 seasons in a row. Last season you had Ash and Isaac off the bench. Not last season. Sorry, you had. You had them off the bench in season 2. Who'd you have off the bench in season 3?
It was well we didn't really have a choice when we got in season 3.
That was true. It was Oshay Ole and someone else.
It was Ole and it was I know we got Riff. We had Riff off the bench. We had
You had another back though, didn't you?
Tuss at one point.
Oh, you
Yeah,
weren't
Tuss-
inactive. Look, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think it's a really bad tactic. You have a look at all the good teams. Like, in fact, is there another team in the comp that consistently has 2 backs on the bench and they're 16 and 17?
I don't think so.
Maybe the Eels, but
Probably
even
not.
they don't. Even the Eels don't. Like, and when you look at your attack, they're not helping your forwards that gain any momentum because you play them in the forwards sometimes. Like Oshay Ole's been playing in the forwards, he doesn't help get any momentum. He gets run over most of the time. But you're forced to play on them in the
He's-
forward pack because you have 2 backs at the bench.
This week we're not playing either in the forwards.
It still doesn't.
Question, who do you think they can utilize to turn their season around?
Look, I still don't think I'm like as much as I troll about it, I still don't think Rabbitohs can make finals, and I still think they're they probably have a due to how
Finals,
that works.
you're
They
gonna
are,
eat your words.
they are a greater chance to
if
make
you,
finals.
if they make
but
if they make finals, you're gonna eat your words hard.
no, I just said they're a greater chance to make a finals than Penrith. I just
I think-
believe in the squad we have that we can still do it.
I think Rabbitohs will take that 4th spot.
I still,
They're just
if
a
I had to make
lot
an
better than those other
unbiased
teams,
prediction,
honestly.
I'd say Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors.
The Warriors have the
I don't
most
think anyone's
flexible
talking about
draw
them.
in the fact that I don't think they have. I think all 3 games are 50-50s by memory. I'll just have a look at it. I just can't exactly remember. I think all 3 games are 50-50s pretty much. I think
they
Warriors
have to use
will win.
Canberra-
Canberra, that's not 50-50. Canberra's not 50-50.
Oh, that is
I
Canberra,
think
do they?
Canberra.
They versus Canberra debate. Okay, well then they versus the Panthers and the Rabbitohs, which are both 50-50s in my opinion. For them, which
If Rabbitohs somehow pull off a miracle upset this week, that would give them a huge
look,
advantage.
as I said, if Rabbitohs win this weekend, I'll back them to make finals. Mark my word on it. They'll make finals if they win this week. And I think that's the same with
Just
Panthers.
onto the
That'll
topic
give
of
them
Chase Williams,
that'll
I think
give
they
them a
can utilize
4-week
him. Sorry, you guys go. I'll take my point after. Sorry, Wes.
4-point lead. If Rabbitohs did get a miracle upset, it'd be a 4-point lead on Penrith and a 2-point. Well, if that's if Penrith lose, and then it's a 2-point lead on Warriors that they lost.
Look, the reason I
Hypothetically.
do think that if Panthers or Rabbitohs win this weekend, or Warriors, because they're all versing Raiders,
Tough division.
Manly, and Cowboys, right? Look, obviously they're not going to be the favourites here, right? But I think if either 3 of those teams win this weekend, and if they all lose, well then it
doesn't
adds
change
another
anything.
mix into it. If they all lose, which is likely to happen, they're probably likely to lose. Well, if they all lose, it's going to throw another spanner into work because it's going to make things a little bit interesting, right? But
I just don't see Souths missing finals with the team they have.
yeah, but do they even have that good of a team? Like I said previously,
Well,
I think this would be the
look at their
first
team, man.
first Rabbitohs team that makes the finals. I think the Warriors have
I
a better
think-
team than them. And I think
I know, but like, look at the Rabbitohs have a lot of strike players like Tyrone Clay, Jack Collins.
Clay's gonna
Tyron.
click at some point. At
Liam.
some point, he will get. Clay will go off at one game. He'll click. He'll just click on.
you better hope it's this
In
game.
the forward
go
pack,
on.
I think there's generally like a top 4-3 forward pack.
I find it quite funny that so far this season we really haven't had an upset, have we?
Nah, I
I
think
feel like we're about to have the upset.
I feel
like
yeah, that's
this
what I'm
round we're
saying.
gonna
I
get
think
one.
this round
Yeah.
there will be an upset. It's just whatever one of those
Which
three
one? It's just which.
It's
It's,
which
just
one.
which one you're gonna back.
It's which one you're gonna back.
There'll be one of these three. It's one of these three: Rabbitohs, Penrith, or Warriors. You got to back one.
Yeah, look, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm not even saying this biased. I'm just saying this because I think the Cowboys are probably the most likely team to lose here. I think Panthers are the most likely to get the upset because they're versus the Cowboys. Again, if you swap any of
Cowboys,
those
nah.
if you swap any of those three games around, I think it's whoever was versus the Cowboys are most likely to get the upset. But I think if either one of those three teams went on back to back finals, I'll say that right now. If one of those three teams, went on
Cowboys
the
just
other
have
team
too good of a
was
squad.
to
I don't
lose-
think it's really possible for them to get upset.
What's this, sorry?
Look at the Cowboys squad. I don't think they can get upset.
Okay, then.
It's like one of the.
Should we move? I
I think the Cowboys.
Should we talk about
Yeah, I feel like-
Should we talk about the
Yeah,
Warriors?
let's-
Should we move on to the Warriors now?
I don't think anyone's
Yeah,
talked
so
about
it's a-
them much. I think they've been a revelation.
Chance Barnes has been absolutely incredible, hasn't he? Their
Yes.
backs too. Niana Braun Thompson. How good's he been?
Oh, he's been incredible. He'll be someone that'll go close to winning the I think the winger of the season. He's been absolutely insane. There's another guy I'd like to point out. I think their forward pack has really stood up this season. Rex Slattery, I think's had a good season. Logan Strange, the Warrior, obviously the future Knights captain. He's had a good run this season. Probably his best season in quite a few. Oh, I think he had a good season last season too, but I think he's been really standing up. Those are the two main ones.
Strangers. I was looking at Strangers stats earlier. They aren't that great.
I think in terms of his aggression has been really good. I think he's really been getting up in their faces. I think his line speed's been good. I think a lot of areas that don't show good stats have been really good. I do think he's leading the forward pack around. If you have a look at another guy, I think Barn has been pretty good too. Really good actually. 124 average run meters.
Yeah, I think we all forgot just how good Barner was last season.
It was season 2 that he was incredible.
I think he's a defensive piece,
Season
honestly.
2. It was season 2.
No, but I'm saying like we all forgot how good he was last season because he had a pretty.
He
quiet-
wasn't that good last
It
season.
wasn't last season. It
No.
was good. The season 2 that he had was just incredible.
I said we all forgot.
Oh, right. No, we thought we were saying, right,
Hey,
Butters.
no.
Maybe we forgot how good he was in terms of he was good last season. Not we
No,
forgot
no.
how good he was in season 2 last season. We forgot that.
No. I was saying I think last season we forgot how good of a player he actually is.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
I think Barner. I know we'll talk about this before when the show went live and then broke again. How we think that he's probably up there with one of the contentions for the best forwards in the game.
Hmm.
Like he is
It's
on his
McCartney.
day. Barner is the best forward in the game, in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah. Just lacking a bit of consistency at this point in
I
time.
wouldn't even say that. I think it's just. I think his consistent effort is good. It's just when he plays at his best, he's just that bit better. You know. On his day, he's just that bit better than good. He's excellent. You know.
Yeah.
Big words.
Yeah, no, I'm trying my best here. All right.
Got that dictionary color
Even
paper.
McCartney, he's just been a huge culture change in the Warriors.
I've been really happy with McCartney and Corcoran for that matter. I think they've led the team around beautifully. They're really they're slowly climbing
Corcoran?
themselves up as one of the best half combinations in the comp, in my opinion.
Which
Are you,
Corcoran, though?
are you
Josh
ready to eat your words?
Okay.
Are you ready to eat your words on John McCartney?
What did I say about John McCartney?
Alright, you said he wasn't very good at Souths.
Yeah, he wasn't very good at Souths.
Yeah, but you said he wasn't very good of a player. So
I said
you're ready to eat
because he
your
wasn't
words?
playing very good at Souths. What's your point here? He wasn't very like.
Why are we
I'm
still
not
talking
wrong
about
here.
Souths?
Eat your words. Eat your words that he's good.
How do we still
I
keep
said that he
coming?
wasn't very
How do
good
we
at
keep coming
Souths
back
because
to
he wasn't
Souths?
playing good footy at Souths. I don't see what your point here is.
You were
Like, I'm not
saying that
doing
he
that
wasn't
he's
a good
stupid.
player.
He wasn't a good player at Souths, and I think Warriors.
You were saying that he wasn't good in player in general, so eat your words.
Why?
Okay, let's just.
I just
Why
said,
are we still on about him?
because I
Souths.
was mentioning that he was a good player. I think Liam's a bit hurt that I said he wasn't a good player at Souths.
No, you said that
I
he
think he
wasn't
was
a good
good there.
player in general.
Okay.
You said he wasn't a good player in general,
Okay.
and then
I said that you guys overrated him at Souths, which you did because he wasn't as special as you guys made him out to be. You guys said he was like some
you
revelation.
also said that he wasn't.
You guys said he was some
You said he-
revelation to argue the fact that you were playing Isaac off the bench, which was pretty. I thought considering Bacardi wasn't doing anything special, which he wasn't. I
He led-
think he's doing good stuff to Warriors though.
Back off Souths for a bit again. Sorry, Rose.
But
Or is
yeah,
things
Corcoran,
being
I
like
think Corcoran's been another really good one. In fact, I'd say he's probably
Yeah.
been better than McCartney to be honest.
it's actually a really underrated squad. I haven't really taken in this squad.
That's what I said in preseason. I said their squad was really underrated, and I said they'd make finals, and I still think they will make finals. If I'm being
No,
unbiased.
I haven't really had a proper look at this squad. I think this is a dark horse for the 4th spot.
I
It's
think
a really good squad, eh?
they're currently at 4th, so
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really talking
where
about
do
that
they
much.
need to improve to get to that next level, though?
I don't even know, man. Guessing that forward pack could use a bit of a touch up, but it's already really good as is.
I think our forward packs, on paper, it's probably their strength.
I think if I had to predict an area, I think it's their. I think their strength and their forward pack's really strong. I think they're just missing a bit of speed.
Yeah, that's probably it too.
Yeah,
Every team needs
they're
speed
not a
nowadays.
fast forward pack.
They're a strong.
It's all
They're a
about
strong.
the speed.
They're like a traditional Warriors forward pack. You know, really strong, really intense, but they don't get a lot of pace. You know, you're not gonna.
Something interesting.
You know,
They
I don't
scored the
think
second
you're
most
going
tries
to
so
see
far.
Logan Strange run in the length of the field to score a try, but you'll see him. You'll see him
Yeah,
use
yeah.
that extra bit to chase the player down to make a good tackle type forward pack.
It's not. They're definitely not like the Manly type where you see their forwards
no,
just
sure.
running close to the length of the field. They're definitely not like that.
They've made
Yeah,
a lot of
no.
strides. They were bottom 3 in tries scored last season, and now they're second.
Are they second
think
in
it
tries
includes-
scored? Oh no, the two I
Yeah,
think
they-
some. I was looking at it. I think some teams haven't updated their stat sheets and
Uh, Okay, well, still
Still bad.
bottom 3 to top 3 is still a pretty good jump.
I do agree that is a good job. Unless they have, I may be wrong in that. I may have just said that on my ass. Yeah, there's still two teams that haven't done it yet.
Okay, don't.
What do you?
Uh,
There's
definitely not.
they've scored 92. No, there's 104 points for the Raiders. Where does it say that? It says 98. Have
No,
they just
he's
missed
talking about
more
try scored,
goals?
not points. Try scored.
Yeah,
Which, if you add, I'm just
Goals.
going to count this in my head. Raiders scored 3 tries, so they're third place now. Warriors. Raiders have 18.
That's still not
Raiders
bad.
have
That's a really
17
good
tries
jump.
along with Manly, and then Broncos have. They scored. Broncos have 9 tries along with Souths.
Where do you
Okay.
see? Where are you seeing their tries?
On team
It says on the
stats.
letter. Oh, team stats.
team statistic.
It's out of date, so I just added the tries that haven't been counted yet because someone hasn't done the stat sheet yet.
I've been busy, man.
Well,
I've been busy.
It's all good. It's all good. Just
Not busy enough to do a talk show, but. Do you see Bunce winning this MVP?
yeah, Bunce. No, actually, Barnes probably.
It's him or Barnes.
I think it's a race between them two. Bunce is heavily carrying the team on his
comment on it
back.
because I do know what the results from this round are, so I won't comment on it.
Good. I think it's a race between them two.
I won't run right now.
They're both equal in tries. Bunce is definitely better defensively,
The
and has
one
made more line
thing-
breaks. I think he's just more putting the team on his back as
The
well.
one thing that Barnes has as a disadvantage is that he's in a better team.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it's still really impressive to have him second in
Yeah.
average run meters,
No, no,
especially
no.
in that team.
But that's not what I'm saying. It's more the fact that like they have so many. You have so many players that could get the 3 every week, whereas Bunce only has like maybe one or two people that will beat him out as the best player in his team every week. So it's a lot easier for him to get points. And I'm not saying that to like say that Bunce is a worse player or anything like that, but it's going to be easier for him than Barnes to get the 3 points every week.
Yeah, I see what you mean by that. Do you reckon we move on after this?
Yeah, I think we should move on to the next thing.
Okay.
We've spent
Just
too
one
long on
last
this.
question. Do you see them making finals?
Warriors, unbiasedly.
Oh no.
I think they're a genuine dark horse.
I think they'll make finals, and I think they can. I think they can contend in finals, but Joe Penrith. Hopefully we can find something here. I think we can beat.
Nah, the name Penrith just doesn't correlate.
Warriors, but I think it'll be a tough game.
If I hear one more thing about Souths, I swear. Next team, the North Queensland Cowboys.
They're an interesting one, the Cowboys.
They've been at the top
I'm
for
worried
2
about
seasons.
them because I know they're at the top, but they've had other than Manly. What if after Manly they've had a pretty easy draw and they struggled against Manly?
They could still like miss the 4 for actually looking at it.
I really. Oh,
They
sorry.
could still miss the 4.
They could if they were to have a really bad in the season, which they versed the Raiders, the Panthers, and the Rabbitohs. No,
Eels.
That's a tough last few games.
Yeah, the Eels will be a little easier for them, but I think the Panthers coming up off of a first season and couple seasons win is going to get the Panthers really what's it called? Really playing their best footy.
Yeah, I can
I forgot the word, but really challenging the Cowboys. So I think this will be one of their hardest, besides the Raiders, obviously.
Who do you think will has been their best player so far?
Best player.
oh, I think there's a couple. I think their forward pack. I really underrated one for me is Callum Irwin. He's been incredible.
This forward pack is really strong. I
saw Callum Owen earlier was on the trade list.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah,
What do you guys think about that?
It's a hard one to be honest. I think I don't really know. I
think he's just seeking out a better role?
I don't think Cowboys would be letting him go, but I did inquire about it, and I don't think Cowboys are interested in letting him go this mid-season anyway. But with that being
that's smart.
said, definitely someone people should be looking at.
That's really smart. But yeah, maybe he just wants a better role. I think maybe that lock position is he available for that?
You may be looking for a lock position, yeah. You could be right.
Yeah.
But they're only playing 65 minutes now. So, probably
Why don't
not
they-
as valuable as it used to be with 80
It's
minutes
just more
off.
touches on the ball in your time, I guess.
No, I think props get more touches when you're on the field in general.
How about locks? They also do a bit of playmaking.
I think props have more quality in their touches. Like locks will touch it, but then not do anything with it. Sometimes, and then other times they'll do massive breaks.
Yeah, I get that.
So I think if you're playing a good prop role at the moment, it's as good as playing a lock, if not better.
I'm sort of trying to wrap my head around it. I'm not sure why he'd request a trade.
I think if I had to go my best player so far this season, I'd probably say I don't know if I can name a best player. I think Chris Lauders had one good game. Other than that, it was
Pretty average.
He's definitely on his game. He's a top tier lock.
I will say Toa Amatang has been very good.
Yeah, I remember he started his career at Penrith. Started as centre, and now he's signing at the
I don't
Cowboys.
want to talk about it, man. Just another one.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I don't think we really have much choice. He was friends with Chris Lord, so you know.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Who do you think probably they need to get a bit more out of?
Damien Moana or Kawal, I think they've been very average as halves.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
look,
both
he's my
of them have
brother.
been very, very average.
Kawhi's my
It's a
brother and
hard
all, but
one,
I
because
think he does need to do a bit
I
better.
think especially Moana's coming off his best game of the season. I will agree. To start the season, he had a lot of errors in his game. And I was very worried for the Cowboys after their first game because they were not good, Moana. and Caval. But
That's wild. Rohan Kowal has a really good kicking stat, so you know I feel like I should see him higher up on the kicking stat.
Yeah.
But I think after that game against the who they versed last week, the
Souths.
Souths, he was incredible. One, he was close to their best player.
Yeah, I think it's just more consistency. I think they got a lot of good players, but they don't, click all together at the same time. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get that. He only averages
Another thing
98
for the
kick
Callum
meters.
Owen trade. Yeah, sorry.
That's crazy. Oh, so I was just saying, one only averages 98 kick meters.
How much
Rohan
is?
Caval is 90 but only averages 32. And they've been
Yeah, I don't know what's
every
going on
single
there.
game. Full context,
What the hell?
Isaac Edwards averages, and I'm not just bringing it up for Penrith. He averages 73. He's played centre for half the games.
He's terribly low for them.
John William
North
Arva has only played in
Queensland.
the centres. Averages 31 kick meters, one less than Rohan.
It's wild
I guess you
because
could-
Moana is the leading kick meters for Cowboys as well.
Yeah, he's only 9th. That actually might be the lowest ranked. No, I think.
I think for a team like Penrith with a lot of good outside backs. I'm not Penrith Cowboys. I think it is pretty vital to have a good kicking game.
Yeah, look, I think another one we should actually probably talk about with the Cowboys is Tito Maxwell's been incredible for them.
Yeah, they got a lot of good players in a lot of good positions. I see them maybe contending for this title.
I don't know. It's gonna be. I think they can beat the Raiders on their day, but if they make as many errors as they've been making, which I think their account's been Rohan Caval 8 errors. Damien White
Yeah, that's what
also
I
8. 16 errors.
That's what I looked at as well.
We were commending them last season for their error count. They've been awful in that they've been awful. That's this season, and I think Moana that they've just struggled to find their form again. It's
Look,
I don't know where you go, but the thing is though, they have won 3 games. They have won 3 of their 4 first games, haven't they?
Yeah, but
So-
I think that's off the back of their forward.
They've been gliding. They've been gliding past it. So, but it's just about they need to get the clicked before they play the Raiders.
Well, I noticed that there's like a bit of a gold cap squeeze. Do you think Caval leaves at the end of the season?
No, I don't think he does because I think the Cowboys actually. I think they're gonna Kowal's a silver, isn't he?
He's a gold.
Yeah, I think it's. I was looking at what rating is he? Sorry.
66.
If he stays at 66, he'll be a silver. And I think the Cowboys have a lot more silvers than they have golds, which means that because they're gonna have a lot more I think they have a lot of silvers to sell compared to where most good teams have. Because I think 67 and above is what they're gonna be.
Top 20-ish players.
So it's 67 and above, I'm pretty sure. And the Cowboys have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think like 9. They've got like 7 or 8 silvers, and you can only have 6.
But we haven't heard from you
So-
much. Do you have anything to say?
Me?
Yeah.
Look, I think they've been pretty good, honestly, but I could really see them missing out if Penrith start playing well and Rabbitohs start clicking. Because if both the Rabbitohs and Penrith win all their next games,
They can miss, yeah. You're right. If all 3, if there is a miracle situation that if both, well, actually, if
If
the
2
Warriors start,
It could be Penrith
if 2 of them
Rabbitohs.
do well,
It could be
yeah,
Penrith
and it
Rabbitohs,
could do.
or Warriors
and Warriors.
Rabbitohs, or Warriors and Penrith.
yeah,
It is possible for
Oh.
them to miss out. And you know
No,
what? With their draw, it's actually not even that unlikely. I would say I'd say it's still unlikely, but I'd say it's greater than 5% chance to happen.
Yeah.
I think the team is a lock for the finals though. Just looking at the roster of the squad, it's hard to count them out.
Yeah, you're probably right. But if Moana and Kowal keep having this many errors, it opened up the door for teams to attack on them.
So I think even though they make errors, I think the surrounding team is still good enough to make up for those errors.
You're probably right, but it's simple as that. If their forward pack doesn't fire, then it looks like they don't have much else.
I really like this team. It's really strong on paper, but they just got to make it count more. And
They've got to make it. They do have to make it count more because at the moment it's just looking like if they can't click, man. Like their spine is really supposed to be really damn good, and it just hasn't clicked. But a lot
any
of teams
surprises
haven't
from
clicked.
them apart from the halves, or is that really all that surprised you about them?
Oh, probably not. It probably is just the halves. But
Yeah, that's
Bunty
fair.
Kambola, he has not been himself though. Bunty Kambola, he's won. He has not been himself since the season 3. Bunty Kambola.
Yeah, I think a few players are having off seasons. Maybe just a switch to the other side, or just a timeout. Some
I
time
don't
out of
know. I
position.
don't think has he even switched from the other side? It's just like he hasn't been
He's
near,
still pretty
nowhere
young,
near as
and he's
good.
still pretty. He can develop. He already has a lot of potential.
He
Just not
does,
sure if he
yeah,
has the
I
potential
agree.
now.
But I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but it's just hasn't looked as good as he was last season.
Can we get a rating so far? Do you think?
I think they've been very
See.
good, but
See.
I'd probably say a B minus.
Yeah, I'll give them
Yeah,
a
that's
bit
fair.
minus.
I think they're more in the B plus. They haven't done
I
anything
don't
apart
think
from
they're a
halves.
bit
Is that all about
I
them?
don't disagree with a B plus. I don't disagree with that.
They're still a very good team. The Manly loss was unlucky, but they're still a strong team.
Yeah,
Anyway,
let's
on
go
to
on
the Seagulls.
to
You
the
reckon?
Raiders. Oh no, Seagulls. Sorry, yeah, Seagulls.
Seagulls. There's not really much to say. They've been impressive like last year. I guess we can start off
They've
with
just
any
been gliding their way to victories, haven't they? It's just like
yeah.
they're just gliding their way to victory, and it's just like we can't question them, even though they keep losing by not many. They keep winning by not many. It's like, but you can't really say much because they've won like 16 or like 13 consecutive games. You're just like, you can't say much because they keep winning. It's
Probably
simple as that.
culture.
But I think Manly's streak is going to come to an end, and I'm not sure if it's this week, if it's next week, if it's the week after. It's coming to an end. I have a feeling. I know I said it last season, but it's going to come to an end at some point. Surely it's got to.
Yeah, well,
Something about them. That Joey Kelly trade. You guys probably have talked about this before, but that makes it a lot harder for teams to end that streak and actually beat them in a game.
that was a disgusting trade.
Look, actually,
Now that
look,
kind of gives them a problem at wing.
have,
'Cause
let's be realistic, Evo. Has Joey Kelly done much for Manly? Like, has he really made an
No,
impact?
not
that's
really.
that's something I also want to talk about as well. He
game.
hasn't been up to par at Manly, I reckon.
Like, even he wasn't doing great at Broncos. Even at Manly, he's not doing great. He may be a gold-rated player, but I don't know if he's worth a gold rating anymore.
He's
Yeah.
he's only had like what, one game?
Like 2
Two
I think.
games.
Yeah,
2 games.
2 games?
Yeah.
This is really in 2
And
games.
even at Broncos, he's had 4 games this season. I don't think he's done much.
I think this leaves a bit of a problem at the winger position
It's that
because
threat that's there, Lachlan. It's better than having a
Yeah, I do
who's
agree.
there?
It is
It's
better.
better than
But I think when you look at the impact Freddie Alexander Chapman had immediately at Broncos, it makes the trade seem less unfair.
No.
it's not like the
Look,
Broncos
I'm
are
just gonna
winning
say, I
though.
think over the first 2 games, Creed has been a better player than Joey. Over
that's
the first 2
controversial,
games
but I
of the
like
trade.
it. I like it, and he's looked good in his games for the Broncos. Again, there is time for Joey to show up and prove why he mainly won that trade. But
I think Joey will show up, and it's probably just getting used to his new team. Whereas a forward, it doesn't take as long for them to get used to the team. because they're just running it hard, trying to run it hard and strong. Have
Anyone
no
else?
strong
Anyone
carries.
apart from Joey who you think they need more out of?
No, not really.
This is a bit
Look, this
controversial.
is
I'm
gonna
gonna say
sound a bit
Dingo.
weird, but I'm really interested to see how Chaz Dingo goes to fullback this round because I think he's been good at 5'8", but from what we used to Chaz Dingo, it's not great, which is what we used to it from Chaz Dingo.
I think Manly needed to just use him at fullback. I get KCK is also doing very well there, but you just can't go past Dingo at fullback. This guy, a New South Wales captain, if I'm not wrong. Australia fullback, MVP winner, MVP, sorry. Yeah, it's just, I think you need to play him at fullback or just don't have him. I don't think he's made a great impact in the halves.
I agree. I think he's complete opposite of what you have with someone like me. I think I'm the complete opposite to him. I think you need to play him at fullback, whereas I am probably better in the halves. I mean, it's like I think Dingo needs to be playing fullback. His best position is fullback. Doesn't make as much of an impact in the halves, in my opinion.
How do you guys think Carl Lewis has done at hooker?
I haven't really noticed him.
It's been an
If
interesting
I'm being
move.
completely
He had
honest.
3 try assists on the week, but that was more the forwards job he just got off because he passed it from dummy half. I think he's the one area that hasn't been great for Manly.
He's a great
Oh
player.
yeah, probably.
No Bo Sadler.
Bo Sadler's been a huge loss for them. He was so good at hooker last season.
Yeah, but to be
Yeah,
realistic,
it's a
he
hooker
hasn't
spot, I
also-
think.
He also hasn't done much at I don't think he's done much at Broncos either this season. To be fair, he's had a
I mean-
good season, like most of the Broncos squad has.
That hooker spot is really important. I think this Manly team shows it.
To be fair though, Sadler's
What was that?
been playing hooker.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, well that's why, because the Broncos team never gets on the front foot like Manly did.
That's fair enough.
Who do you guys think has been their best signing?
Doesn't really mean
No,
many.
do
I
they
think
even- yeah.
Hayden Mellert has been pretty good.
Lennox Prakash. What are your thoughts about him?
He's been good. Yeah, I'd say Lenny Axel. Actually, I forgot he was a signing.
Yeah, I thought he was a
Melhurt's
really
been
good signing
okay.
for them.
Mellert, I do agree. Mellert's been very good.
Yeah, this team can't go really wrong anywhere, I guess. Just a hooker spot, I think, and I think Lewis can hold it down well.
Shall we
And I
get
think
on to
Matthew
Canberra?
Vaughan, who was a commended
Yeah.
Lions player, coming off the bench just helps them a lot.
Yeah, let's move on.
Anything else about him?
Let's move on to Canberra, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's move on to Canberra.
Any immediate thoughts about them?
I don't know what happened over the offseason.
Any revelations? Any?
Don't
people
know
you
about
wanna see
Canberra
more from?
because they have had a really good job, but they can only play who's in front of them. Had a really good draw, sorry, but they can only play who's in front of them, and they've done that so far. So
I'm
I'm
saying
still interested out
Leonidas.
for Canberra. I want to see them versus the Cowboys or the Seagulls.
I'm thinking Leonidas and Tua. They've been great revelations in the forward for us.
I think
Leonidas, he's already a
Leonidas
really
has been
good,
very strong.
yeah.
Yourself,
take him.
Cavala's been very strong. I think you average like 140 run meters at the moment.
Yeah, but I take a lot of runs. So Jordan Williams, I think he's settled into the lock position nicely. Just ball playing as well.
I don't think he's done. I mean, he had a really good first game, and I think other than that, since his injury, he hasn't really done much.
He had a few good moments in the last game. He had a lot of line breaks. Of course, Fairview has taken a backseat for him at prop, but he's still solid there.
If I'm honest, I think you should swap Williams and Fairview around.
I don't. You kept arguing about before Williams came.
Okay.
yeah.
That was old. That was old.
You kept
Okay.
saying Fehu was better than Williams, and now you're just starting Williams at lock. I don't get that.
Okay. Who do you think the team needs more
I
out
think you
of?
should start Fairview at lock and go Williams at prop.
Yeah, I'll try it.
No, you're not.
Who do you think? Okay. Who do you think the team needs more out of?
Um,
As I said, I think Fairhu, but I think you get more out of Fairhu if you play him at lock.
Well, okay.
As I said, he paved the way for the way Matt Harris played last season.
Yeah,
Gotta be
he's
honest.
paved the way for. He was literally he's literally the builder. What Matthew Harris did in season 3. He
was
did it
so
in
good
season
in
2.
season 2, and everyone just overlooks him all the time because Matt Harris. And look, Matt Harris' season was better,
Yeah.
but it was very close with ranking Fairhu.
I think
I don't
Fairhu
think
was the
it's-
best knock of that year.
I think the only reason Fairhu's season isn't remembered as much is because Canberra didn't win the premiership. It's simple as that.
Yeah, and I think that he really helped you guys in that first couple games. He was your best player over the first 4 weeks, and then
Yeah, I do admit he's
played-
been one of our most consistent. Thoughts on any of the signings? Lomu, he's been really good for them, I reckon. For us.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the Rabbits.
he's been good for you guys. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I think
He
playing
wasn't-
him
he
at
wasn't
wing a
make
bit
many
more.
signings in the offseason. Oh yeah, Barnes, right? He's the standout.
Yeah,
signing.
Barnes, Lomu, they
That's
will. Yeah, I think that's it. Tim Jane didn't count. Yeah, that's it. I'll tell you what, I think Wally Allen and Ben Arnold, Wally Allen, he's been really good for us. When he started, he
Oh
showed
yeah,
that
and it's been really good.
he's a great bench spark. It's just a shame that I can't fit everyone in the starting side.
That's
Ben
fair
Arnold
enough.
as well. He's a great come on a prop, make meters, defend. And I can't not talk about Sione Mataus. Don't know if I said that right. He comes on a lock.
Does it matter?
He's already scored a try at lock. I have to ask him that. I haven't really checked with him.
Fair enough.
But yeah, a lot of attention on him from other scouts I've heard. There's someone I'm hoping to lock up. I think he'll be a future star for sure.
Fair enough. Look, I think we should just be on to. We should probably get this start wrapping this episode.
Yeah.
I think we should go on to the Do we want to do predict our games
Team
this
list?
week? We haven't even got the team list
Yeah,
yet. I think
predict
let's
the
just go
games.
to the game, predict the games this week. We're gonna be here for ages, so we can talk about the team lists.
I reckon like 10 trade, 12 trade is the alright time to stop.
I don't want to go into 12:30. Let's just
Okay.
let's just predict the games for this week, and I reckon, and we'll talk slowly about the team lists. All right, Broncos
just like
Eels.
talking
Who are we
it out.
tipping? What's our tips for this game?
Two strong teams. I reckon Broncos, but the end score really depends on if they fire or not with this team list.
So
Yeah,
it's gonna be an interesting game.
Yeah. Eels. They're trying something new with Blake Harris at fullback.
Honestly, I have a funny feeling about this game. You know when I get a funny feeling, it means the team's gonna lose. I mean win.
Yeah, there's not really much certainty about this one, I guess.
I
Cherry
think,
Evans,
I
he
think
hasn't
the
really
Eels are gonna
solid-
upset them. The Eels will go.
Cherry Evans hasn't really solidified a spot. I think.
And I think the Broncos
Do you think
will
this?
lose.
Yeah, there's always a possibility. Next game.
Yeah, I think the Broncos will probably win this 1-12-ish. I just can't back the Eels. I just don't know how they score. Blake Harris could be good at fullback, but
I do agree. I don't
Yeah,
really have a
it's-
score. I just have a feeling that they'll upset them. I feel like Blake Harris is alright at fullback, although I think he's better in the halves. But they don't really have a fullback option, do they? Maybe it's Thomas Mendonca. He'd be an alright fullback.
yeah, Mendonca.
Cherry Evans, I think he's done well
Mendonca's
there.
found his form. Mendonca has really found his form.
That's all.
And I said in the off season that Mendonca would find his form somewhere else. He just
And the
needed a
wild
new
card. It's
super
really up
series.
for
I'm
a
gonna
lot
tip
of
an upset and
interpretation.
say that the Eels upset the Broncos, but I think that's unlikely. I think it'll be interesting to see this weekend. But is your tip?
I never tip because I'm always wrong, but
uh,
I think Broncos. Oh, sorry.
yeah, I think Broncos as well. I think they really need it, and look, yeah, they just really need it right now, and I think they're going to want it more than the other team.
Yeah, that's a fair enough point.
Yeah, two bottom of the table teams, but I think they all got a lot of potential on their roster. South
Same
and
we have
Manly.
Rabbitohs and Manly. Yep. The original
Sorry.
one.
Well, Manly did Dingo's back at fullback. I can't see them going past that.
I have to agree with that, to be honest.
Your wing is Chaz Dingo, Joey Kelly, and Kane Chapman Kenny. That's
Is
just too strong.
Chad Dingo playing on the wing?
No, fullback. I meant to say
You
like the
said
fullback.
your
wing.
wing
You know what I
is
meant.
Chad
You know what I
Dingo,
meant.
Malachi.
You know what I meant. My biggest question mark on them is Ben Punch at hooker. I haven't really seen enough of him.
Wait, Ben
to-
Punch is playing hooker, is he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit of an odd one. But, I mean, it could probably
Carl Lewis
work
back
with
in the
Manly.
halves where he flourished in season 2. That's
Yeah, but
That's
like
an
the thing
interesting
I'm
one
worried
as well.
about, what's his name? Carl Lewis says he wasn't great at the halves last season, in my opinion. I think was he the guy that ended up getting dropped for Will Kay to come in?
I think he was playing bench
No,
to
it
get
was
playing used to
Butters.
playing hooker. Something like that. What about South's team list? Do you think anything of the team list could spark an upset?
No,
Anything?
no. Time Clay maybe if he has a good game, but no.
He can be good at fullback, I reckon.
It has to, Liam Ryan and Tyron Clay have to have amazing games.
I think they need to utilize Chase Williams more. He's a really fast player, but playing center won't really get much out of him, honestly.
Oh, I don't think he. I think he's more of a developing player. He's certainly not a. He's
To develop them, you
86
have to try
speed.
it.
He's
That's pretty easy to get to a 99.
yeah, but in fairness, Josh Shuttlecart at 88 speed. He's not our slowest back in Cutler is, but it's close to her. Yeah,
just
but I
speed?
think it's I think that you'll find that most people would. I think most people will tip the Seagulls by a fair margin, but I don't know if we can win. But I hope we can win. I just
this
hope
is mainly
that something
pretty much
clicks.
full strength again. It's
I
been a while.
just hope something clicks. As long as we give them a fight, I'm not going in there expecting to win. So I'm not going to go in there going, okay, I really want to win this match. But I want to go in there and just go, we want to give them a fight. We just want to fight with them. Scrap with them for however how long. And if we win, then freaking oath, that's a good win.
It's in a school fight, okay?
Yeah, but
No, brah.
but I just don't want to. I don't go in there expecting to win. I just hope we give them a real test.
Yeah, that's fair
Yeah.
enough. It's gonna be a bit harsh here, but I think Manly for 18 plus. That back five, that's just too hard to not look at.
I think our kick apart from the one
Kick return defense will
return-
be massive. I think Clay will have to
we've
step up
wrapped them.
defensively.
We've wrapped them up really well. Teams up really well out of kick returns this season, except for that. I think we only allowed 1 or 2 kick return tries all season.
I can't see that changing anything. I think it's just gonna be Manly touring views.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
no
if we
offense-
can
no
start the
offense.
game well, I think it will. Because we actually got some field position against the Cowboys early on, just never capitalized. And if we can capitalize on it, then the game changes. Simple as that.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, whilst I don't look, Liam, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think we're gonna win this one. I think
That's why I say just wrap it as 18 plus.
no.
No, at least
Well,
honest.
Whilst our attack isn't very good, I'll say it right now. It hasn't really clicked, but I think we can possibly hold out on our defense to make it seem a lot better than
Defensive resolve is gonna be really important. I feel like.
yeah. I
Especially
think
it
we'll,
definitely is.
I think we'll lose by less than 8. So I think it'll be Manly 1-6.
I don't,
Yeah, sure.
Butters. I'm not necessarily thinking we're gonna win. I just hope that we give them a test.
Hmm.
We just play better than what people expect us to.
We've been talking about Rabbitohs for half the show. Let's move on to Penrith first, Cowboys. What do you always think?
Penrith.
Anything?
No.
Cowboys by 14.
Cowboys, yeah, I don't know. Cowboys are just too strong, man. I just can't see them losing this, honestly. Penrith, the recent team list, they've been pretty good in the past few games. I think they gave Manly a really good fight. But you know, just the Cowboys, I think it depends on how how the halves go, but I think even if the halves go bad, they got enough strike power to just go past that.
Yeah,
I think
you
it'll
just
depend
gotta.
on a few things how we play.
If Penrith make the errors that they have been all season, then it ain't gonna be good.
Anything, Butters?
Pardon? What was that?
Anything about the Penrith vs Cowboys game?
Penrith versus Cowboys. Look, hey Lachlan, I love you. I'm so happy that you guys got your first win in a
I'm
couple of seasons. I am extremely happy for you guys, but if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't see you winning this one. I see you putting up a good fight against them, but to be fair to the Cowboys, they have been good, and I do hope that you guys beat them because then it means that both Souths and Penrith can make the finals. But I don't see you guys winning this one.
I think we'll surprise a lot of people this week.
Yeah.
And to be frank,
Have you really seen the games?
We simply just need to win.
Alright, and final game of the round.
Then we can verse Finals League 1 again, Butters, and we'll see who wins.
Enough about Souths. Raiders vs Warriors. Final game of the round. What do you guys think? Keep in mind this Raiders team is carrying a few injuries.
Yeah, but Warriors.
I still think Raiders will win.
Raiders will win.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
look. I'm no bias. I think we will win, but this Warriors side will put up a fight. I think
it'll be
They will.
Raiders by 4. I think it's been a tough scan this season.
those injuries definitely have affected us. I think Tim James has been one of the premier hookers.
Oh, he's been the best hooker this season by a long shot.
Tua, sorry if I didn't pronounce that right, but he's been great for us, man. He's a better version of me. If he got more ball, he'd be a lot better, like a lot more spoken about.
I think he's one of the underrated players in the comp, to be honest.
I think the players the Warriors need to win this game is, I think they need a lot of result from their outside backs, because I think the Raiders' defense is just too strong for them to, go off the forward pack.
I'm really interested to see what Wally Allen does this game. I think it's a huge opportunity for him.
Look, it's really hard. It's a really bad dilemma to have a lot of good forwards because you can't really play them elsewhere. But yeah,
I think Wally Allen could be someone that moves to someone like the Knights if they need a.
Hope not.
Because I think simply they may have to look in the market as much as they want to. They will attract players. Maybe they do get a couple players that maybe aren't as starters right now that may have to start for their team. And Wally Allen would probably want to go to a team to an expansion side. It's just exciting with the old commissioner and Jack O'Neill. Those names, Jack O'Neill.
I think Bunt will have to have a big game. This is pretty much battle of the two best fullbacks right now. And I think whoever comes down on top of this, they have a better chance at winning the SMVP.
100%.
Benches as well, I think those will be pretty important.
Yeah.
And O'Neill and Luke Thompson, I think they complement each other really well. Especially with Luke's running game and O'Neill's kicking game.
I think it's a win by 10.
I think we win 1-12. Warriors will put up a good fight. That's just me though. Lachlan, what do you think?
Raiders by 2, by 4.
That's fair. I had 4. You said that.
I think Warriors will be
final game for the rounds.
Scam the Raiders have played all season.
I think the top 4. We haven't versed the team in the top 4 narratives a bit. There's nothing really supporting it, because Souths probably are a top 4 team. If you did power rankings, I think they'd be.
I think if you did power rankings, Souths would be 6, with Would you having Penrith above them, Warriors above them? Then obviously Cowboys, Raiders, Manly. Maybe not in that order, but that would be the five teams in front of them.
And that's the end of the
Anyways.
round. Anything else?
I think that's it.
I
Alright.
think that's probably like you get yeah, I don't know. I think
Streaming for a while.
yeah, I think that you're probably gonna have to have It's been a good
I'll get
episode,
ending it
boys,
now.
and we'll wrap up. Yep.
Alright, we'll see you
Yep,
guys later.
thank you, boys.